Hi everyone, how are you doing today? This is Hillary, the marketing mom, and yet again our comments are gone, so I'm just jumping onto my phone to make sure you are hearing, seeing me. If you are, just drop the likes and the hearts or the reactions so I can see them come across the screen because we're not seeing the comments again. All right. So thank you for joining me. I know I want to acknowledge I'm a few minutes late. I know it's a little after 12:30. I was just reviewing some wonderful new updates that are coming down the pipeline. You'll be very excited about that. For those of you who don't know me, I am Hillary, the marketing mom. I'm a social media manager, digital marketing strategist. I'm a business coach and trainer, but most importantly, I am a wife and a mother. And it's one of the things that I'm most proud of. All right, so I want to thank everybody for joining me today. And this is something that I want to talk about because just jumping onto my phone here quickly to make sure that you all are hearing and seeing me. Okay, I'm just pulling it up, taking a little while. The internet's a little slow. And today, what I want to talk about is actually something that many of you would have known that, I started my book challenge this year, 12 books. Well, I just finished the second one, right? Good. And we're in October, so we're trotting along. You all know that I'm a slow reader. So finished up the second or third book, I think, Start With Why. So you'll be getting more different type of content, obviously, right? Because I've shared that before, that if you're not consuming, you can't produce content. You've got to consume information in order to produce it and take it, bring it out to other people, share, because you're not taking all of this in to just keep it in your brain. I like to call it a brain dump. You can do a brain dump in terms of creating products or services, or just coming online every day, or whether it be once a week to share a little bit of wisdom with, your followers, okay? And seeing that it's Friday, you could all follow me, share this broadcast, share with your friends and family, because today I'm talking about you showing up to beat yourself. All right, and that was basically the rounding off of the book Start With Why that finished off yesterday, and the author gave a story, Jeff Sinek. He gave a story about this guy who has cerebral paralysis coming to run a race. All right, and I relate with that very much because the story kind of it hit me, not because of the tenacity and the stick-to-itiveness of the guy who had cerebral paralysis and still finished the race. It stuck to me because it made me realize, even in my own track and field career when I was much younger, that we always showed up to beat the other person. All right, so in track and field, you're not really there were a few times when you came out there and your competitor was the clock at the end of the finish line. 9 out of 10 times when you came down on that line, came down on those blocks into your starting position, you were thinking about what did you see this other competitor do, and what did you were often thinking about the other people. All right, and I remember very distinctly, and it was probably my worst race ever, and it was the race that I didn't show up to beat myself. And this is interesting because back then, our coaches used to keep drilling that home, and we didn't understand why. And the worst race, if I remember correctly, that I ever had was when I showed up to the starting line and I realized what lane I was in. And for those of you who know anything about track and field, all right, you know that the lane that you are positioned into, especially in a final, is based on time. So the fastest people usually get, like, the close to the middle lanes, like lane 3, 4, and 5. And then the slower ones, they are put in lanes 1, 2, and 7, 8, and whatever other lanes they have. So the slower ones. So if you're familiar with track and field, and I remember this race, I was coming up to the starting line and I was in lane 8. I was thinking to myself, that means I ran the slowest qualifying time. I thought to myself, so already I was approaching the line thinking of, my time compared to other people's time, right? And I was just like, okay, so I ran the slowest qualifying time. So know you're excited. Let's imagine you're in the Olympics, okay? But you got put in lane 8 and you know that your time is the slowest qualifying time. Are you thinking that you're even going to win that race? And the reality is, I started all of that, I guess, negative self-talk because I started thinking, well, if I ran the slowest time, how am I going to beat the person in lane 4? Because lane 4, at the time, the way they laid it out, was actually the person that ran the fastest. And you're thinking, well, the only way I can beat them is if they pull a hamstring and all sorts of things, all right? Now, what Jeff Sinek in his book talked about is that here was this guy who is running, they were running a mile, 400 meters, round the lap, well, no, it was an 800-meter race, all right? And here's this one guy who has cerebral paralysis running in this race. And he's not running to beat anybody. All he's doing is running to beat himself. And what was beautiful about the race, and you could say there's so many lessons that you could learn, but you don't need to see somebody running a race, you know, somebody who's basically debilitated, all right? Your limbs are basically, you're in a position where you don't expect somebody with cerebral paralysis to go out there and run an 800-meter race. It's just not something that you think about. And you see all the other runners going off, and they're all running, all right? So they're running, and you see the stronger ones, they start to take off. They're ahead of the pack, and then the weaker ones. And then here's the character who he's writing about all the way in the back. He runs a few steps, and he trips over his legs. Because that's what happens when you have cerebral paralysis. If you're running, you don't have the strength of your legs. But you know what was interesting about that story is that he was running because he wanted to beat his time. And he was running to beat the time that he ran before and the time after that. And what's amazing is that after the race was finished, the Jeff Sinek says that, you know, he's the only person who, when he's finished running the race, he's got people running with him. Let's look at a regular Olympic race, 800-meter run, 800-meter sprint. This guy would be the only one that will have a crowd of people running with him. Not because he came out there to win a gold medal, not because he came out there to beat the fastest guy there. He came out to beat his personal best. Now, his personal best may be 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but he came out there to beat his personal best. And that is something that if every day we come out to beat our personal best may be, if you're in marketing your business online, it may be just being able to put out one ad. So then the next time you come out to work, you're going to put out 2 ads, or maybe you're going to do a blog post, all right? But it's to beat your personal best. And if all you can do is write, for example, and you don't do advertising, then the blog post that you write today needs to be better than the blog post that you wrote yesterday. The live that you did today needs to be better than the live that you did yesterday. And if you show up every day in your life, in your business, just to do better than the day before, you are going to move mountains because you're not dragging what you can't do. All right, you're not bringing along what you couldn't do yesterday, what you should have done yesterday. No, you're showing up to be better than you, not to be better than the person inside of your company, or to be better than your neighbor, or to be better than, you know, the person in the cubicle next to you. No. And this was something that at different times in your life, you get this thing where you're just working for work's sake. All right, you're not working because you're trying to beat somebody or show somebody off or anything like that. You're working because you want to do a good job. And I'm sure I've shared this with you before. My uncle, a great math teacher, used to go to math lessons with him, and he used to have at the top of his chalkboard at the time. Now he has a whiteboard, and he still has that quote: every job is a portrait of the person who is doing it. Autograph your work with excellence. Everything you do is an image of you. So if you do a poor job, you are reflecting yourself, all right? And sometimes that we go through that, all right? If you're having a down day, maybe you're sick, whatever you do may not look like, it may look exactly like how you're feeling, all right? But the reality is, in your business, show up to be better than you. Don't show up to be better than, like Apple doesn't show up every day to be better than Microsoft. Apple shows up every day to be better than the Apple they were 20 years ago, the Apple they were 10 years ago. And that's what you have to do as well. You have to show up and be better than the Hillary that you were yesterday. You have to show up to be better than the Jill that you were 2 weeks ago. All right? That's what you have to do. Whatever your name is, you have to show up to be better than who you were yesterday. And then you are going to create momentum in your life and in your business. And it will be such a momentum that you wouldn't know where you're getting this drive from, where you're getting this energy from, because all it matters is that you're doing something better than what you did the day before. All right. So that's all I have for you today. I want you to think about that this weekend. And I want you to show up Monday, or maybe if you're going to be doing a lot of work in your business, maybe Saturday is your business day. All right. And then you do a little, maybe 2 hours on Sunday because it's a day of rest. Thank you very much. If Saturday is your business day, for those of you who are working Monday to Friday and you're trying to build your business part-time, and Saturday is your business day, I want you to make this Saturday better than you've ever worked. Okay, I want you to do things beyond the moon, and not do it because somebody's going to give you a pat on the back. Do it because you're going to do it better than you did last week Saturday, or than you've ever done. All right, so have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday, 12:30 Atlantic Standard Time, AST. I'm getting to that because I am going to be sticking to my 12:30 Atlantic Standard Time. This is the time zone I am in. Right now, we are on the same time zone as Eastern. Whenever they switch, we'd be an hour difference, but we're going to stay with 12:30 Atlantic Standard. So I just want to get that into everybody's head. Those who are joining me live, coming on live, thanks for joining me. Thanks for your hearts. Thanks for your comments. And I will see you Monday at 12:30. Have a great one and talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.